the surprise teams in baseball. All along, they've had their doubters, but have held on to the top spot in the West, and along the way have gone 7-1 against the Giants. Jonathan Sanchez predicted a sweep of the Padres after his last start, and tonight he'll be put to the test in a National League West showdown. Game 1 of the series next. It's a beautiful night on the shores of McCovey Cove, downtown San Francisco. The pennant race is heating up. The top two teams in the West, head-to-head, the Giants and the Padres. Hello, everyone. I'm John Miller with my crew. Welcome to San Francisco Giants baseball. And what a time of year this is. The pennant race is upon us. The Giants will be facing the top teams in the National League beginning tonight and for the next 2 weeks as they go from here to Philadelphia, then to St. Louis, and finally home again with the Reds. So it is going to be exciting, but it's also going to be a great test. The Giants also fortified themselves for that great stretch of games as they acquired Jose Guillen today from the Kansas City Royals, a right-handed slugger.
Well, right-handed slugger indeed. There was many times in this young man's career that he's been said to have 5 tools. He can hit for average, hit with power, great arm, great speed, got good glove, and he can do everything. Plus, the one thing about this veteran is that this is his option year. He's got to put some numbers up to try and get another contract. So he's highly motivated. And a guy who has a volatile personality like he has, well, you hope there's a strong clubhouse that he's going to, and the Giants have that. He'll be welcomed with open arms.
So we talk about Jose Guillen. The Giants picked him up today, but he's not available tonight. He'll get here later and be available starting tomorrow. Meanwhile, the matchup, Jonathan Sanchez against Clayton Richard, each has been real tough against the other team. But for Sanchez, the Giants just have not been able to score runs against Richard or anybody else when Jonathan's been on the mound.
Well, they haven't scored a lot of runs for him, but they haven't scored a lot of runs for Zito or Matt Cain either. I mean, it's just, if you're a starter here, don't expect a lot of runs. One thing, though, he can really help himself in doing is limiting his pitches per inning. Right now, coming into this start, he averages over 17 pitches an inning. It's one of the highest averages in the National League. So he's got to cut that down. He's got to be more aggressive to strike one, put the pressure on the Padres. He's got the stuff to challenge anybody. That'll be a big key. The Padres and the Giants are a team that's very similar. If you go back the last 35 games, the records for the Padres, 22-13, the Giants 25-10. So both teams, a lot of confidence, ahead of steam. They're coming off good series. So this is really going to be a good weekend.
So here we go. The Giants and the Padres. The Giants have lost 7 of their 8 games with the Padres. They need to get that turned around right away. Coming up, NBC Bay Area Sports Director Raj Mathai with the Xfinity pregame show and more on Giants acquisition Jose Guillen after this.
Xfinity TV, internet, and voice reinvented. Now available throughout Northern California and coming this fall to Fresno. Here we are, Friday night baseball in San Francisco. It doesn't get much bigger or much better. The first place Padres against the second place Giants. This is the talk not only across the Bay Area but across the country for this race in the National League West. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Raj Mathai here in the Giants dugout. John Miller and Mike Krukow upstairs in the NBC booth. So here we go. Jonathan Sanchez setting the table, setting the tone for the series, guaranteeing a series sweep, but really that's just a sidebar story. The battle for the National League West and the Giants try to maintain their lead in the wild card. And then the newest wrinkle in all of this, the trade earlier today for right fielder Jose Guillen. The Giants have been coveting Guillen for a long time, and they finally get him. So here's the deal with Guillen. You're going to hear a lot about him, positives and negatives. His 10th team in the last 14 years. He could be a disruption in the clubhouse. Well, here's the way the Giants are looking at it. They feel they can get the best out of Jose Guillen at this point in the season where they are in the playoff race, at this point in his career, and also in terms of team chemistry. The Giants feel they have a great team chemistry, especially the core of Latin players they have in there. They feel Guillen will be a great asset with that big bat of his. Take a listen.
If you're a baseball player, you have what you just said, a checkered past. If baseball is one of those sports where maybe you're driven by anger, so be it. But as long as you can back it up on the field, which I think he has, so what? Doesn't matter.
He's a great player. He can do things happen playing, and I don't know about if he have problem with other teams. He come here. We just have a good clubhouse. I think he's gonna have fun. We just here try to help each other. Our team is just about win and have fun, and we're gonna be fine. He's gonna be fun.
Not everything is just black and white. He's a good guy, he's a bad guy, because we've had people, and Bruce Bochy's the best at it, we've had guys that have come in this clubhouse that we were warned about over the years and never had a problem with, if in fact they might have had their best seasons playing for him and in the environment that's created here. We have a great chemistry, we have a great bunch of guys in the clubhouse. There is not going to be an issue.
I've talked to a lot of people about Jose, and I've talked to him personally, and everybody I've talked to enjoys playing with them and talks about he's the makeup that he's had with them, and good team player and plays the game the way you want. Let's be ready every day, and so I look forward to having him here, and I know he's excited about coming over here to help us.
The Giants have certainly done their homework. So where is Jose Guillen? Well, as we speak, he is on a flight from Miami to San Francisco, expected to touch down in the 10 o'clock hour at San Francisco International tonight. He will likely make his Giants debut tomorrow afternoon. So the Giants hoping Guillen can turn into a mini Pat Burrell and revitalize that bat. Speaking of Pat Burrell, the biggest reason why he's been so successful in San Francisco, you might be surprised. Stay with us. We're back in a moment. Reinvented, now available throughout Northern California and coming this fall to Fresno. Friday night baseball. Everyone fired up for this series to begin, and it begins in just a few minutes. Giants and the Padres. Good evening. Thanks for spending some time with us tonight. I'm Raj Mathai here on NBC Bay Area and the Giants Television Network. We'll be joined by Mike Krukow and John Miller in just a few minutes. So here we go. One of the best storylines in baseball has been the acquisition of Pat Burrell. Why would the Tampa Rays cut him, and why is he doing so well here in San Francisco? Well, pretty easy. Pat Burrell saying recently, you know what? He was driven by fear. He didn't know what he wanted to do after his baseball career ended, and he knew here in San Francisco would be his last opportunity, so he is forced to make it work. And that brings us for our Xfinity Game Vision. You can be your own producer or director in the comfort of your own home, manipulating the video. And the video yesterday in that day game thriller against the Cubs, fantastic. Pat Burrell will run for mayor of San Francisco right now. His 9th and 10th home run as a Giant. Remember, he has 10 home runs in just about 2 months of work here in San Francisco. Solo home run in the 4th inning, and then the big one, the grand slam in the 5th inning, helping the Giants not only win the game, but take 3 of 4 games from the visiting Chicago Cubs. So Pat Burrell, part of our Xfinity Game Vision. So Pat Burrell in the lineup tonight. The Giants, a lot different team right now than they were earlier in the season when the Padres were dominating them. Of course, as we said earlier, Jose Guillen on his way to San Francisco. He will likely make his Giants debut tomorrow. We are ready to play some baseball. Giants and Padres, Game 1, next.
Home Improvement Store. 60 degrees, the winds at 10 miles per hour blowing straight out to center field. It's humid and overcast here at AT&T Park. Let's take a look now at the Padres batting order brought to you by Ram, the truck that never backs down from a challenge. Jerry Hairston at second, Miguel Tejada at shortstop, Adrian Gonzalez, and he's hitting .579 the last 5 games. Ryan Ludwick, 3 home runs in the last 4 games in right field, the former Cardinal. Yorvik Torrealba, the catcher. Chase Headley at third base. Scott Hairston in left field. Chris Denorfia center field. Clayton Richard, the big hard-throwing lefty, is on the mound.
Let's check out the Giants defense tonight. It'll be Burrell, Rowand, and Torres. That's your outfield. Uribe Sandoval on the left side of the infield. Sanchez and Huff on the right side. Buster Posey will be in the squat, and on the bump tonight will be Jonathan Sanchez. Sanchez, basically a 3-pitch guy, a fastball, kind of a slurvy breaking ball, and a split. 2-4 lifetime against the Pods, but an excellent 2.70 ERA in 66 2/3 innings.
This is his 4th start against them this year. And a swinging strike one on the first pitch of the night, a 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
And that's knee-high fastball. That's important for him to establish the low part of the zone. This is his year. 8-7 and 23 starts. Could be a lot better. Hasn't had great run support. More strikeouts than innings pitched. That's impressive. Still 68 walks. That's a lot.
Oh, there's that splitter. And it's 0-2. Sanchez, the first time he faced the Padres, he lost 1-0. He gave up 1 hit in that game. His next start against them, he went 8 innings, gave up 3 hits, and lost 1-0. The last time he faced them in San Diego, he went 6 innings, allowed 4 runs, and had no decision. 0-2 the count to Jerry Hairston Jr. 256 average, 10 home runs, 48 batted in. And a cutter just off the inside.
Saw the high target from Buster Posey. He wanted the elevator fastball to throw across the letters. Miguel Tejada on deck. This is a highly motivated Padre team against Jonathan Sanchez because he kind of threw down the challenge last Sunday after his game in Atlanta.
That is a fair ball. Headed down the left field line. Burrow plays the carom, and Hairston, who's a fast runner, is into second base with a double.
Now here's the payoff pitch and 2 strikes. Gets it right out there in the middle of the plate at the knees. And Hairston in a protect mode rakes it right past the Panda. No chance. That ball was crushed.
Now Miguel Tejada started his career just across the bay over in Oakland, where he was a perennial all-star, one of the top shortstops in the American League. This year he began the year in Baltimore as a third baseman. And it's 0-1 to Tejada. Tejada has played 12 games for the Padres, had 49 at-bats, a .245 average with a homer and 4 batted in. He is back at shortstop after playing all year at third base.
Check out the benches. You think these guys are into it? Both benches up on the rail. Both teams.
And off the right field line, foul out of play all the way back near the bricks, and the count is 0-2.
A lot of anticipation by both clubs for this weekend. These first 2 pitches, the Tejada, 2 fastballs, he's throwing right by him. A swing and miss, then a fastball he was way late on, fouled it down the right field side. So we know that Sanchez brought a good fastball into this game.
0-2 the count to Tejada. Adrian Gonzalez on deck. Too high with that fastball. 1-2. Tejada, 1 hit in 11 career at-bats against Sanchez. Tejada, although a longtime American leaguer, and that includes the first part of this year, he also played for the Astros in the National League for a few years. Curveball. And heading for third is Hairston. He's in a rundown, and Pablo tags him out. And I don't know if he slipped or what happened there, but Jerry Hairston, with the ball hit behind him, had a very late break toward third base and got himself hung out.
Well, what do you say we make it our Giants defensive coverage of the game, brought to you by Verizon? This is a bonehead play. Ball got behind Hairston, and he kind of got caught in a rock in a hard place. A little scary there for a minute as Uribe was fighting to find his footwork. Little slippage right there, but he throws a strike to the Panda, and he puts a tag on him. So a bad base running play, and that takes a runner right out of scoring position. That's huge.
Absolutely bad base running play by a man who's a pretty good base runner. And the red-hot Adrian Gonzalez, the Padres' great slugger, takes a called strike. Gonzalez is hitting .299, 22 homers, 73 batted in, and he's been even tougher on the road when away from the very large confines of Petco Park. 0-1 the count. And that one goes right through Posey. And over to second base goes Tejada. So the base advantage the Giants got there because of the base running mistake has been given right back to the Padres.
There's not a whole lot you can do with this one. I mean, when they bounce that far out and then they stay down, on a breaking ball, you're anticipating that ball is going to come up. And every once in a while, a breaking ball will skim. And when you anticipate the ball coming up and it stays down, no chance.
So the wild pitch on a runner back at second, and the Padres' big RBI man is at the plate. Gonzalez has been extremely hot lately and could not catch up to that high fastball. Strike 2.
Well, it wound up being a perfect location right there above the hands, inside corner at 93. This guy's got a great approach the opposite way. Ball's right by him. We've seen that a lot with Sanchez, where the teams will be late on his fastball the first time through.
And that fastball fouled off to the left into the second deck. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sanchez, of course, had his comments after the game on Sunday, and he didn't say that he hated the Padres or call them any names, but nonetheless, his comments, I'm sure, were very much read in that Padre clubhouse. And he strikes him out. Big strikeout of a big hitter.
Big split finger fastball, and you're right. A guy who's hitting 500 his last 5 games. That's a guy you got to be aware of. Here in a 1-2, he goes right to the outside corner with a split, and he's starting to throw that pitch to lefties now. And it's becoming another swing and a miss pitch. Let's make that the Giants' defensive coverage of the game. It's brought to you by Verizon, the network with the most 3G coverage.
Now, a Padre who was not with San Diego earlier this year. Powerful right-handed hitter Ryan Ludwick, former Cardinal. And Ludwick is hitting .275, 14 homers, 15 batted in. He's hit 3 homers in the last 4 games for his new team, the Padres, after getting off to a very slow start with them. Curveball in there, strike 1 call. Ludwick hitting only .231 for the Padres in 11 games, 39 at bats, but the last 4 games he's had a 2-homer game, a homer in another game, an RBI double in between those home run games. And into the crowd off the right field line, and the count now is 0-2.
He looks completely different in a Padre uniform as to him wearing a Cardinals uniform. I mean, completely different guy. It's amazing what a uniform can do to a player.
And he's had some big games against the Giants as a Cardinal. Sanchez ahead of him, 0-2. He's been a strike-throwing machine in this inning, getting ahead of all 4 of the hitters. Runner at second, 2 down, 0-2. And the splitter in the dirt, smothered by Posey. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, he's missing a good place, too. I mean, you're ahead in the count 0-2. That's not a pitch you want to float up there and miss it at the bell out of the play. If you're going to throw it, start it down at the base of the strike zone away and let it sort of fall out of the zone and hope he chases. But in throwing it to that location, that sets up the inside at the hands location with the fastball or the back foot at the slider.
1-2 the count. Torrealba on deck, would be next. 2-2. Again, Ludwick refuses to go down out of the strike zone. The series all through the weekend. Tomorrow, Madison Bumgarner will go for the Giants. It's a 1:10 p.m. start Pacific time tomorrow. Bumgarner for the Giants. Matt Latos, the impressive young right-hander, for the Padres. And then Sunday afternoon at 1:05, Tim Lincecum and Wade LeBlanc. 2-2 the count. Tejada at second. The fastball. Strike 3 call. The high strike. And the inning is over. The Giants are coming up. Buster Posey hitting cleanup. Pat Burrell, and what a roll he is on right now. Pablo Sandoval at third. He has gotten hot. Uribe at short. Aaron Rowand in center. Jonathan Sanchez is the pitcher.
The Padres defensively will have Hairston in left and Orphy in center, Ludwick in right, Tejada, Headley on the left side of the infield. The other Hairston brother and Gonzalez on the right side, with Torrealba doing the catching on the bump tonight. Clayton Richard, the left-hander, at 6'5", 240 pounds. He's 26 years old, his second year at the big league level.
He's got great stuff, and he has been real tough on the Giants this year. 1 ball, 1 strike to Andres Torres. Torres in his last 21 games hitting .352.
Let's take a look at the numbers for Clayton Richard. He's having a solid season in his second year at the big leagues. 2-to-1 strikeout walk ratio. He's got a fastball that'll go 90, 94-ish. He can sink and cut it. He's got a split. Breaking ball is kind of a sweeper, but he's really athletic. And for a guy 6'5", 240, he moves well, has a great pickoff move. He's picked off 5 guys this year.
It's a walk to start the Giants' first inning. So Andres Torres, who came in hitting .292 with a .375 on base average, goes to first, and here is Freddie Sanchez.
I mentioned the move about Clayton Richard. He has a couple, 2-3 different looks he can give the runner at first base. He's very deceptive. And when, again, I emphasize it, the guy moves very, very well for a guy his size. You steal a base off him, you've earned it.
Richard checks first. And a strike in there to Freddie Sanchez. Chase Headley in the grass at third with the first baseman Gonzalez on the bag with Andres Torres, who leads the Giants with 23 steals. You see how they're playing it. The middle infield is pulled in a bit. Double play depth. And he chases the high fastball, and it's 0-2. Freddie Sanchez. And sometimes Freddie goes up there right away and lays down a bunt, or you see him trying to hit the ball through that open right side of the infield. But now he's got a 2-strike count. And he peels that one off into the lower deck, off to the right. The Dodgers were beaten tonight by the Braves 1-0. Tim Hudson, who shut down the Giants last Sunday, did it to the Dodgers tonight. Hiroki Kuroda took the loss in the dirt. A ball and 2 strikes. The ball grabbed by Torrealba, keeping Torres at first. The Cincinnati Reds, and in the National League wild card, the Giants #1 in the wild card division by a game over the Phillies, a game and a half over the Reds, but the Reds won their game over the Marlins. And Torres is back. The Phillies, though, lost at New York. R.A. Dickey, the knuckleballer of the Mets, pitched a 1-hit shutout against the Phillies. 1-2 the count, and now he's going to go to first again. One and two. Clayton Richard coming off one of his worst starts of the season. His most recent start, he gave up 5 runs in 3 2/3 innings. There goes Torres. And the ball's into center field, and Torres gets up, going for third. Here comes a throw by D'Onofrio. Not nearly in time. Andres Torres, who had some tightness in his upper left leg, so they kept him out of yesterday's game, and he looked like he was recovered nicely there.
Well, this is a difference maker in the lineup. When you have energy at the top of the lineup that can create this, I mean, not many guys will take off when a ball bounces in front of a catcher and goes out towards home plate. They just don't. They freeze. That was tremendous instinct off his secondary lead. And then they get a break as Torrealba threw it to center.
Knocked down by Richard. Quick reactions holding Torres at third as he gets Freddie Sanchez. So Sanchez, for a moment, looked like he had himself an RBI single to center. But Richard, who's very tall, was able to reach up and grab it. Now, Aubrey Huff. Left-hander versus left-hander here. Wild pitch to get Torres to second. But on a ball that was kept in front of the plate by Yorvik Torrealba, tantamount to a steal of second, and then he goes to third on the throwing error. Charge to Torrealba. Slider off the outside. Now the infield is backed up. He hit a ground ball to either of the middle infielders. That would get a run home. The first baseman, as you can see, Gonzalez, also backed up, although he throws really well and is aggressive. The fastball in there for a strike.
He was sitting on a breaking ball there. Aubrey Huff, you saw his numbers, hitting .417, 5 for 12 against Richard. He sees him well. Guy has that kind of numbers. You know he sees the spin out of his hand.
And off the left field line, foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Aubrey Huff is hitting .300, 20 homers, which leads the club, and a team best 67 runs batted in. High fastball, base hit, past the bag at third. Torres in to score. The ball goes through all the way into the corner, and Huff eases into second with a double. 1-0 Giants.
They got down into a 1-2 count in a strikeout situation. And that is a big swing of the bat. Because if it gets past Huff, you're thinking that Richards is thinking that he can get out of the inning. But Huff says, a mistake across the letters, and he goes right the opposite way. And that's what good hitters do. That is a strong top hand. And the Giants are on the board.
Now Buster Posey, another runner in scoring position.
I credit that run to the effort of Andres Torres. Wow.
In there for a strike. Now, Posey was in the minor leagues when the Giants and Padres played their first 8 games against each other this year. So he's part of the difference in the Giants lineup between then and now. This is the first time Posey and Richard have ever faced each other in a big league game. Posey, who actually this year has hit better against right-handers than left-handers, hitting .349 with runners in scoring position. Out of play, and he's behind 0-2 to Richard. 1-0. The Giants are leading.
Well, Richards had 2 strikes on everybody except Torres, so he is definitely attacking the zone.
The leadoff walk turned into a run. Now Huff in scoring position at second. Spins him around. Fastball up and in. 1-2. Pat Burrell on deck. Burrell has really had the hot hand lately. Orange Friday in San Francisco. And foul off the right field line. 1-2. Posey, .331 overall, 8 home runs, 41 batted in 239 at bats. He's got an .885 OPS.
Boy, good pitch, good take.
2-2.
That's an 86-mile-an-hour breaking ball. It is not an easy pitch to take in a 2-strike count when you're thinking you have to expand and protect. Guy takes a pitch like that, you know he's got a pretty good idea of the strike zone.
That one is hooked into the hole. Base hit. Scott Hairston up and throwing. Huff couldn't go right away. He had to wait to make sure that Tejada did not get to it.
Now, talk about strong hands. I mean, a lower body completely out of the swing. The location of the pitch, fantastic. And if you're Clayton Richard, this swing of the bat's a bat breaker. And you saw there at Aubrey Huff had to freeze on the line drive, so he could only go 90 feet. So it's up to the hot hitter, Pat Burrell. But right now, the Giants' focus is fantastic.
It was 0-2 to Huff. He hit a double. It started 0-2 to Posey. He has hit a single. Pat Burrell, 3 homers the last 2 games. And he starts him with a changeup. Strike 1. Burrell 0 for 3 against Richard with a walk and a strikeout against him. There's Jonathan Sanchez, who pitched a shutout first half of the inning, and now he is leading. Middle infield, double play depth. Tagging at third is Huff. Scott Hairston. And it goes out of play. Well, had Hairston been able to get to that one, likely a run for the Giants. That ball out into medium deep left field. It was 3-3 yesterday in the 5th inning with the bases loaded when Burrell came up. And off the foul pole. Grand slam.
Talk about lighting up a stadium. We did it twice, a 2-home run day. But a grand slam had everybody, including the broadcasters, cheering.
He lays off that high fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 homers, 5 RBIs yesterday. A homer, 3 RBIs the day before. So 3 homers, 8 RBIs in his last 2 games. Change up to the right side. And they get the out at second. No chance of a double play. Huff in to score. Beautiful play by Jerry Hairston Jr. and getting the lead runner. But the Giants have a 2-0 lead.
Now, one thing about Hairston, I mean, his range is fantastic, and he really shows it off here. Another good example of hitting the location. That ball's on the outside part of the plate, and Burrell going with it, and only a great effort from Hairston takes away a base hit.
Pat Burrell, who came in hitting .299 as a Giant with 10 home runs. That was his 29th RBI and 155 at bats. Pablo Sandoval. And after starting back, Ludwick catches it moving in. The inning is over. 2-0 Giants on to the second.
Now, the Giants have really been dominated by the Padres this entire season, losing 7 of 8 games, but it's a totally different Giants lineup as it is tonight compared to earlier in the season. That leads us to our Ford Wright choice. Check out the lineup on May 18th when the Giants beat the Padres. No Buster Posey, no Pat Burrell. In fact, they had Eli Whiteside and Matt Downs in that game. And this lineup will change yet again beginning tomorrow and Sunday when Jose Guillen checks in for the Giants. Guys, up to you.
That's Raj Mathai, sports director at NBC Bay Area. Thanks, Raj. I'm John Miller with Mike Krukow. Giants baseball from San Francisco. The first place Padres trailing the second place Giants 2-0, and Torrealba hit by that pitch from Jonathan Sanchez.
Second inning in a row, the Padres have gotten that leadoff hitter on. Fastball, he's trying to get in and jam him, and he just cuts it right into his shoulder. If you're going to get hit, kids, that's how you turn and protect yourself.
Now Chase Headley, switch hitter, and ball 1 off the outside. Headley .270 average, 8 home runs, 42 driven in. And 0 for 11 here in the last few days. Padres have the best record in the National League. There's a fastball in for a strike. The Padres 67 wins and 46 losses. And they've had a winning record both at home and on the road. Their home ballpark, and of course they're a team that's based on its pitching under former pitcher and former Giants pitcher Bud Black, now the manager. But a team that generally hits a lot better when they're on the road. For instance, Adrian Gonzalez can put up numbers with anybody, Albert Pujols included. When you look at his road record, he gets hurt by that home ballpark. So they've done well home and road. Lays off that high fastball.
Well, AT&T Park's a lot like Petco Park down in San Diego. It's a ballpark that favors pitchers. It's not. Neither park is a home run park. You start to analyze both these clubs, there are a lot of similarities from the team all the way through the park.
2-1. And it cuts off the inside, ball 3.
This becomes a big pitch. You know the Padres are a confident team. You know that 2 runs is not going to scare them. And you cannot create 90-foot gifts.
Rowan going back into deep center. And it bounces up against the wall. He stumbles and falls. And that's going to bring a run home. A triple for Chase Headley. Wind blowing straight out toward center field. So it is 2-1. A hit batsman followed by a triple. The Padres are on the board.
Now, get it in situation. Fastball right out of the plate at the knees. And Headley, who's got good pop, puts some backspin on this thing, catches a little wind that'll blow out towards center. And this is where the Padres catch a break. The ball does not hop into the stands. It one hops the wall, gets a little bit over the head of Rowan. And it becomes an easy triple for Headley. And the hit batsman has come back to haunt Jonathan Sanchez.
Second triple of the year for Headley. And here now is Scott Hairston. And the splitter is low for ball 1. You'll read Torrealba talking it over with Adrian Gonzalez and Miguel Tejada. He was the man who got hit by the pitch and then scored the run. That ball is in toward the stands off the roof of the dugout. One ball, 1 strike.
Easy down there, big fella. Anytime you hit a ball that bounces off of the dugout and goes into the stands, everybody gets very brave catching that ball because they know it's not going to hurt their hand. And it usually turns into about a 30-person jump ball.
Runner at third, nobody out. And in the right center field, hit well. Back into the wide open spaces. Torres. And this game is going to be tied. Here comes Headley. It's 2-2.
Nice at bat. Sacrifice fly. That's what the situation called for. And you're going to say that a lot about these Padres. They play good situational baseball. Well, a reminder that August 23rd to the 25th, the Giants are going to take on Dusty Baker's Cincinnati Reds. If you want tickets, all you got to do is go to sfgiants.com. And remember, with dynamic pricing, buy early and save.
That's the next homestand for the Giants. After they finish this weekend with the Padres, they go to Philadelphia and then to St. Louis. That's a foul. Aubrey Huff. And the wind, I think, pushed that one back onto the field, and Huff took advantage. Denorfia is gone, out number 2.
And Denorfia, he's been a hot hitter. That's not an easy out. You got him out in 1 pitch. That helps. And there's the drift of wind John's talking about. He'll bring that ball back into play. Thank you very nice.
Clayton Richard called a ball too high, I guess. 1 ball to no, although he's pretty high himself. He's, 6'5". Richard, pretty good hitter, 7 hits, 39 at bats, 5 RBIs. And back out of play, had a good rip, 1 ball and 1 strike. That sacrifice fly by Scott Hairston. And I'm thinking, from what we've seen against the Giants with him, maybe he's leading the league in sac flies. And I just checked it out. He's got 4, and they must all be against the Giants.
He does a lot of damage against the Giants.
Here's the description of that ball going out of play and then coming right back onto the field off the bat of Scott Hairston. Strike 3 call. But the Padres, after falling 2 runs behind, get those runs right back against Sanchez. Uribe coming up.
BayAquarium.org/love.
Giants 2, Padres 2. Last of the second inning. Juan Uribe will lead off. There was a lot of discussion going on in the Padres dugout. We had a camera down there after your beat Torrealba, who got hit by a pitch. Eventually came around to score, and Uribe fouls one out of play. And the count is strike 1. Uribe hitting .258, 15 homers, 64 runs batted in, facing Clayton Richard, the big lefty for the Padres. Base hit to right. And Aaron Rowan is coming up. But they were all down there having a very lengthy discussion with the veterans, Torrealba and Adrian Gonzalez. And Tejada was there. So Jonathan Sanchez, the point being, is up 3rd in this inning. It'll be interesting to watch through the night what Torrealba decides that they need to do with Jonathan Sanchez.
I think your point's well taken. I think that's exactly what they were talking about, the fastball that hit Torrealba. And if it gets to an 0-2 or a 2-out situation where Sanchez comes up, then they might return the favor.
Strike 1 to Aaron Rowan. Rowan, .247, 10 home runs, 32 batted in. Giants 2, Padres 2 here in the second. Rowan 1 for 9 against Clayton Richard, both former Chicago White Sox. The foul tip, strike 2. Sanchez is on deck. Uribe away from first. In the dirt, smothered by Torrealba. Uribe has to hold. Gonzalez on the bag with him.
Uribe still has a little tenderness in that right hamstring. Tim Flannery has been told by Bruce Bochy, be careful with him. Don't stretch his legs out. Can't lose this guy.
The slider low and inside to Rowan.
And don't stretch his legs out. When a manager tells that to a third base coach, it just simply means don't gamble on him. Trying to stretch him from second to home, trying to score him. Be conservative.
Up the middle. Base hit into center field.
Another good 2-strike at bat.
That's 3 hits for the Giants on batters who had 2 strikes on them. Jonathan Sanchez, his numbers, this is the best season he's ever had as a hitter. Padres conference out near the mound, all of the infielders and the pitcher Richard as to what kind of bunt defense to employ here. It's going to have to be a good bunt. It's a force out at third base.
Well, it should go down the third baseline.
Called a strike.
And I always thought it was easier for a left-handed hitter to bunt the ball down the third baseline.
Tim Flannery with the signs. The third baseman, Headley, playing shallow, but also trying to lay back to accept a throw to get the force out on Uribe, if possible. Sanchez would like to make him field it. And going, it's a foul ball, I beg your pardon. He was going. Uribe took off for third, but it was a foul tip. No signal by the plate umpire, Jim Wolf. And Uribe will turn around and go back to second.
Partner, you scared me there for a second.
He was going.
He was gone. I think Uribe scared Flannery.
So Uribe back to second. Rowan still at first. Down and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gonzalez getting in real close from first base with Sanchez showing bunt. Tejada trying to keep Uribe close at second. Now this is good play for a force out at third. And back to first base. Not in time. Bunted right back to the mound by Sanchez.
Well, that's tough when you have 2 strikes. I mean, you're trying to put the ball in play. You will bite off a little more of the infield than you normally would. But this is just like a ground ball comebacker to a pitcher. We talked about how the athleticism of Clayton Richard. That's an easy play for him.
So Sanchez unable to move those runners up. That is a very big play. The double play is still in order. And Andres Torres comes up. Andres drew a walk his first time. Took an extra couple of bases with some opportunistic base running and scored the first run of the game. It's 0-1.
So Uribe got into the Orange Friday theme with his new orange hairdo. Oh, yeah.
Uribe was Orange Thursday as well.
Yeah.
There goes Rowan. Rowan just took off. And he almost got a break. Clayton Richard, who was stunned, instead of going after Rowan, and went just immediately threw to third and threw it in the dirt.
Well, this is a base running mistake. And you hate to run yourself out of an inning, and it's happening right here before the Giants' eyes.
Wow.
But he did have a good jump.
There's running on the first movement of a pitcher, and then there's running 10 minutes before the first movement.
Wow.
And it could work if the guy just pays you no mind at all. The splitter low and outside.
You know, and it just gets back again to the failed bunt opportunity. If Sanchez gets the bunt down, none of this happens.
Check swing and ruled to swing by Marvin Hudson, the first base umpire. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Torres.
All right, did he go? Let's take a look. Yeah, that's straight. Good call.
Sanchez at first. Another check swing. 2-2 the count. Man, the Jets had runners at first and second. Nobody out. A chance to bunt the runners over for the pitcher to make it second and third, 1 out. Instead, it's 2 down and just a runner at first. Out of play, off to the right. 2-2. This game started out so beautifully with the Giants. A great first inning for Sanchez. And then the Giants, 2 quick runs. And then the Padres immediately get 2 of their own. And now the Giants have an inning that's been falling apart here. And that is strike 3. The inning is over. The crowd is quiet. Top of the order coming up with the Padres.
Flying here from Miami to San Francisco should arrive in just a couple hours. Our Toyota by the numbers. Here's Guillen's numbers this year. Traded from the Royals this season in Kansas City, a .255 average with 16 home runs. This will be his 10th team in his 14 years. And there's some issues about his checkered past, but Bruce Bochy said he's talked to some of his old managers and some of his old teammates, and everything should be fine. And Mike, I think you said it best. He's playing for a new contract next season, so everything should be good with Guillen.
All right, Raj, and here is Jerry Hairston Jr., the leadoff man, taking a breaking ball too low from Jonathan Sanchez.
Now, he's also coming over to a strong clubhouse. This Giants clubhouse has got good leadership, and he'll be a good addition.
He's very good friends with Giants relief pitcher Guillermo Mota. Mota was very excited to hear that his close friend was going to become a teammate. In there for a strike, 2-1 now. And 3-1. Miguel Tejada and Adrian Gonzalez to follow. 2-2 is the score here. He walks him.
Third inning in a row, allowing the Padres to get that leadoff hitter on base. And two of them, he's put them on himself. A hit batsman last inning, and here a walk.
Now Tejada. He grounded into a fielder's choice his first time. Jerry Hairston, who has 8 steals this year, been caught 5 times though. Tejada hitting .240 as a Padre. Hairston back to the bag. Giants middle infielders pulled in a bit. Double play depth. Tejada. You see Sandoval even with a bag at third. Tejada has grounded into 14 double plays this year. One ball and no strikes.
One thing you cannot consistently do at this level is pitch from behind. You cannot keep creating hitters counts. 1-0, 2-0, 3-1. It's gonna bite you.
And a foul out of play off to the right. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Jonathan Sanchez pitched through a leadoff double in the first. He struck out Gonzalez and Ludwick. And I'm thinking, all right, game on. And since that time, it's been a consistent 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 3-1.
2-1 now. And let's see if Bud Black puts something on here. Glenn Hoffman, the third base coach, flashes some signs. Hairston does have excellent speed at first base. Giants 2, Padres 2 in the third inning.
Sanchez averages 17.4 pitches per inning. That's the #1 most in the National League.
Now it's 3-1.
And here again, a 3-1 count.
Uribe, and to say something to Sanchez from shortstop with the great Padres slugger Adrian Gonzalez on deck.
Yeah, he's basically saying, you know, challenge somebody. Quit Jimmy jacking around. Don't be so fine. You got good stuff. Use it.
just fouled.
I mean, that's the problem. You get predictable. He does three things with a baseball: fastball, slurve, and a split. And when he's not getting slurves and splits over, he pigeonholes himself into fastball counts. He gets predictable to it. Big league hitters, they'll sit on it, and when they get what they're looking for, they're going to square it up, especially if the location is right over the middle of the plate. He has to pitch better than what he's showing.
So I'm thinking Jerry Hairston's running on this 3-2 count.
I would think so. He sort of had a little leaner going there towards second. Padres will definitely run.
There he goes. Strike three. He's got him hung up. Posey runs right toward him. Sanchez and Aubrey Huff. Double play.
Wow. In a 3-2 situation where you're told to run with the manager, you're going to make sure that that pitcher goes home. So you're not going to get as good a jump as if you're straight stealing. But here, a swing through C, a strike three, and then Hairston stops running. And the one thing you have to do, if you decide to go, you got to keep going. You got to cause a throw. Maybe Posey will throw it to center field. Maybe Sanchez will drop it. Who knows? But you can't stop like that unless you're hurt.
And he looks like he's hurt. Gonzalez with a high foul out of play. I love the way Posey, a young catcher, a rookie catcher, did not throw that ball and just ran right out after him as we get a look at it, Mike.
Well, that's the play. You want to run him into it. Yeah, he hurt himself.
So Hairston, that's Jerry Hairston, trying to shake it off. The trainer right alongside.
There had to be a reason. He's a much better base runner than that.
Swing, says Jim Joyce, the third base umpire, on appeal. It's 0-2 to Gonzalez. The rundown went from the catcher to the second baseman to the first baseman, 2 to 4 to 3. In left center, Pat Burrell. And that's the inning. Sanchez, Huff, Posey coming up in a tie game.
Our annual Dog Days of Summer event, sponsored and presented by Natural Balance Pet Foods. You can bring your dog to the yard. He's going to get a special Giants dog bowl. You have to have a special canine ticket to get it. Call 415-972-2356.
Freddie Sanchez along the right field line. On the run, Ludwick. And he overruns it. And again, the wind has been pushing balls along the line back toward the field. And maybe that got Ludwick Of course, there's a lot of things to have to start worrying about when you get into that corner with all the bullpen paraphernalia along the sidewall.
Well, 2 times Ludwick's tried to throw the ball in the stands, and 2 times it's fallen back in the stands. Well, you know what? In that particular instance, that play right there, you know, it's not fair for a guy who doesn't play here a lot because of that drift you're talking about. And we've seen guys overrun it like that before.
And I said the paraphernalia on the sidewalk, there was none. There's a ball low to Sanchez. For the last 4 days with the Cubs here, they had ball bags and suitcases, bowls of fruit. Scott Hairston and Freddie Sanchez is 0 for 2. And Aubrey Huff will come up.
Yeah, lots of peaches. Tonight, it is quiet down there. Too cold to sit down there. Well, as we sign off from tonight's game on NBC Bay Area and affiliated Giants Network stations, Giants fans can watch continuing post-game coverage with interviews and expert analysis on a special edition of Sportsnet Central on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area.
Aubrey Huff fell behind 0-2 with a runner at third and 1 out in the first inning, and then hit a double right past the third base bag on a high fastball. One ball, 1 strike to count to him. Buster Posey on deck. Giants 2, Padres 2. Clayton Richard on the hill. Right back to him. 2 down in the third inning. And now Posey. Posey with a word with his veteran teammate, Pat Burrell. You think he's asking for some advice or what he's seen from Clayton Richard?
I think the only thing that Burrell may have mentioned to him is take a little time when you get up there. Don't be afraid to take a pitch. It's been a quick inning. Give Sanchez a little bit of a breather.
Posey hit a single his first time. He fell behind with a quick 2-strike count against Richard, and then hooked a base hit through the hole between third and short, fueling that 2-run first inning rally.
He is a quality at bat. I mean, he's not in any hurry. He's got an excellent eye, and he has an excellent idea, and he is stubborn to a pitch.
DeNorfia, plenty of room. The Giants go down in order for the first time. Onto the fourth, Ludwick coming up against Sanchez.
About the Giants minor league system. We talk about the hot prospects, guys like Buster Posey or Madison Bumgarner in months past. But now, a guy that really was unheralded, a 30th round pick in 2009. It's our Xfinity Future Focus right-handed pitcher Craig Westcott, combined with San Jose Single A and now in Richmond Double A. Craig Westcott, 20 starts. He has a 9-1 record with a 2.75 ERA. Opening some eyes here for Brian Sabian and the Giants front office. Gentlemen, back up to you.
All right, so there's a name to file under keep an eye on Craig Westcott. Thanks, Raj. Here is Ryan Ludwick, the former Cardinal, hitting cleanup for the Padres. Jonathan Sanchez, first pitch, driven to center. And right to Aaron Rowan. One away.
That's how you want to start an inning, a one pitch out. Thank you very much. You notice the pocket out of Torrealba's pants. You see a lot of guys doing that now. It's totally superstition. He had it out one day, had a couple of hits. He said, you know what? I hit better with it out. And ever since then, it's been out.
Yorvik got hit by a pitch his first time. Now, if somehow it was the flap that gets hit, I don't think that should count.
I don't either. I mean, I really don't think they should count. And I see guys go up there like Orlando Hudson. He goes up and he doesn't strap his batting gloves on, so his flaps on his batting gloves will be off. And I don't think that should count if you hit one of those things.
So it's not just if you hit the guy's body, if you hit his shirt. A lot of guys will have a real loose-fitting shirt when they're up there.
Prince Fielder.
1-2. And 2-2 now. Torrealba hit by a pitch in that second inning as the leadoff man, and that started a 2-run rally for the Padres that tied the game. 2-2, fourth inning. Chase Headley is on deck.
Did you say Headley?
And that's a foul. Old Mel Brooks movie. Headley Lamar.
Blazing Saddles. I still laugh every time I think about it.
2-2 to Chase, or Yorvik Torrealba, who's hitting just in front of Chase Headley.
Never gets old.
Shallow center. Sanchez wants it, but there's Rowan. Rowan almost became an extra infielder on that one. It was so shallow. 2 down. It was a very high pop-up by Torrealba. Giants 2, Padres 2. 1:10 in the afternoon tomorrow. And then 1:05 on Sunday. Tomorrow is radio only for the Giants.
Radio only. It'll be Dave Fleming and Dwayne Kuiper on KNBR tomorrow.
Madison Bumgarner for the Giants. Matt Latos for the Padres. A couple of young, exciting pitchers. Latos has become, in some way, he's been the best Padres pitcher. Base hit to right field. That was a breaking ball. It was up, and Headley just swatted at it and gets his second straight hit.
That's bad. That breaking ball coming from the outside part of the plate, just sort of wrapping around the outside corner, and if you try and pull that, you're going to roll over it. Stay inside it, go the opposite way, and that's how you beat it. Nice AB.
He had an RBI triple his first time, now a 2-out single. This time, and Scott Hairston comes up. Hairston with the sacrifice fly that drove in the tying run. Hairston had a sacrifice fly that beat Sanchez earlier this year in the game where Sanchez allowed just one hit and lost 1-0. And it was Hairston's sacrifice fly that drove in the only run of the game. 2 down, runner at first. And a fastball in there for a strike. Although there have been years where Scott Hairston has done so much damage against the Giants that if it was just a sacrifice fly, everybody would be, wow, good pitching. Kept him in the yard.
He has torched the Giants.
0-1 the count. Headley back to the bag at first. He's had 13 steals for the Padres. He is the third leading base stealer for San Diego. 13 steals, caught 3 times. And this is a spot where a steal could be a big play. But 2 down to get into scoring position. There he goes. Posey, 1 hop and into center field. And Headley to third. His 14th steal of the year. Now 2 down and runner at third base for the Padres.
Well, the ball got there way ahead of him, but it was errant to Freddie Sanchez. You watch, the footwork was all in line. We've seen that happen about 3 of the last 6 throws that Posey has had to second base. He has been wild to the second base side of second base. If he comes up with that play, if Sanchez does, it's an easy tag out, the inning's over. But it goes down as a stolen base and an error on Posey.
So now the Padres threatening to go ahead here in the 4th inning. 2 down, a runner at third. A steal and an error. That was a squib foul on the first base side. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Scott Hairston is the younger of the 2 Hairston brothers. He's 29. Jerry's 33.
One ball, 2 strike count to Scott Hairston.
It's got to be cool, though, playing with your brothers in the big leagues.
A real baseball family. Their dad, Jerry Hairston Sr., was a big leaguer for many years, many of them with the White Sox. And then had a grandfather who played as well. That almost hit him in the back foot. That sharp breaking ball. 2-2. Threw it hard.
Yeah, with some pitchers, you can't just say, hey, throw a back foot slider, because they'll take it literally and they'll try and hit the back foot. So with Jonathan Sanchez, you say it's almost a hit the back foot slider.
Two and two the count. And a full count. DeNorfia, another right-handed hitter on deck.
Who's been red hot.
Sanchez got the first out of this inning on 1 pitch. And then quickly got Torrealba for the second out. And now it's turned into a much longer inning. 61 pitches thrown already in the game. 3-2 the count to Scott Hairston. Broken bat.
Well, I like the pitch, though. I mean, he's throwing that split finger fastball now in 3-2, and he's not even thinking about it. It's become another good pitch for him. And for the longest time in his big league career, he was a 2-pitch guy. And this is the addition, and he's throwing it here in a 3-2, and you see it just tear up the tip of the cupped bat. But that was a nice pitch. So New Wood. Hey, we have to say hello to our friend Willie McCovey. Willie's in the hospital. Had a major back surgery 2 days ago. 12 hours of surgery. They put a big chunk of titanium in his back. So we want you to know, Stretch, we're all thinking about you. We miss you out here at the yard, and we hope you get out here soon.
He is here almost every night, and we miss him when he's not here. 3-2 the count. And it's a walk. Padres have been very disciplined in this game since early on. Anything off speed that Sanchez is throwing down around the knees, they're not swinging.
Well, that's the third gift. He's hit Torrealba, he walked Hairston, Jerry Hairston, now he walked Scott. And the Padres, as we mentioned, one of the more fundamentally sound teams in all of baseball. And you just cannot create opportunities for free against them because they will capitalize. Now, we mentioned DeNorfia has been hot. He's been as hot as anybody on this club. And there is an open base here.
The pitcher, Richard, on deck. Headley at third and Hairston at first. That's Scott Hairston in the dirt. Two to two in the 4th inning. Jonathan Sanchez struggling. He's now thrown 17 pitches in this inning. And he threw, what, maybe 3 or 4 to the first 2 hitters. Now 1st and 3rd, 2 down. 2-0. And now Posey's going to go out for a chat. And Sandoval will come over from third base as well.
Well, I think this may be just a reminder of the scenario here. You know, it's a 2-0 count. You've fallen behind. You got an open base. A pitcher on deck. He's a left-handed hitting pitcher. This guy in the box has been hot. We know that. We covered it at the meeting. Let's stay to a corner. Let's not make a mistake of location here and create a problem just by giving him a goose to hit.
Denorfia, 8 hits in his last 14 at-bats during the week. And 5 of those 8 hits have gone for extra bases, 3 doubles and 2 homers. 2-0 the count. And the changeup off the outside, 3-0. But the crowd getting a little uneasy about it, but I think what you're talking about is what's happening here. Sanchez will utilize that open base. That's a strike.
Now they're respecting that in that 3-0 count that Denorfia, as hot as he's been, that he might have been given the green light. They threw a changeup. He went with a split.
First and third, 2 down, 3-1 the count. Back off of Sanchez. Now what about the play at second? That's an out. No run. The runner heading to second, Scott Hairston, obstructed Freddie Sanchez going after that ball. On the field, Buddy Black, the manager of the Padres, out there with James Joyce. Scott Hairston, the runner, who impeded the ability of Giants second baseman Freddie Sanchez to go after that ground ball, was very vehement about that the call was wrong.
Well, they're saying that, and the argument for Bud Black was there was no contact. You have an obligation as a runner to avoid the play, and they're saying that he made an effort to do that. Therefore, the play should be allowed to stand. But the play was called by first base umpire Marvin Hudson, and it was an obstruction. And he did not believe that the obligation was truly met by Hairston. And hence he called the play dead. It was an out, inning over.
Well, the key is the fielder being in the act of fielding a ball. And I had the call completely opposite of the call. When it's an offensive player, that's interference, and it's an act by the team at bat which interferes with, obstructs, impedes, hinders, or confuses any fielder attempting to make a play. This is Rule 2.0, excuse me, under the category of interference. If the umpire declares the batter or runner out for interference, all other runners shall return to the last base that was, in the judgment of the umpire, legally touched at the time of the interference. So that's the basic interference of a runner. And the discussion is still going on there. But the way that reads, Mike, I guess there had to be a decision made by the umpires. Did the runner from third, Chase Headley, cross the plate? And that's what they may be talking about before the interference by the runner took place.
Well, they could call the runner in. I mean, I didn't see if indeed the runner did score before there was obstruction. This is what they're discussing now, and they could call it. Always a period where you kind of hold your breath.
Well, now they're going to go over to tell Bruce Bochy what they've decided. Wait a minute. Now the Padres started off the field, and Jim Joyce said, "Where are you guys going? You're on the field." The Padres' whole argument was that the inning should still be going on. It sounds like to me.
And they want to find out.
Oh, he called the press box. The Padres are playing the game under protest, and they have to report that to the press box. It has to be announced to the crowd. The plate umpire, Jim Wolf, out there talking with some of the Padre personnel. Well, there's the interference, and he had not scored. So there's no run.
He wasn't even close. So the bottom line is, game's under protest, but Clayton Richard's been out there on the mound for a long time. And you kind of ice down your field if you're Bud Black.
The San Diego Padres.
And that is Riddell, the voice of AT&T Park, making the announcement to the crowd, which is a major league rule. And again, the rule, and I'm not Doug Harvey, who knew every rule by heart and is in the Hall of Fame for his knowledge of the rules as one of the great umpires of all time. And offensive interference is an act by the team at bat which interferes with, obstructs, impedes, hinders, or confuses any fielder attempting to make a play.
Well, there was confusion. End of story.
Freddie Sanchez had to stop going after the ball because he was being obstructed, interfered with, impeded, hindered, trying to go after that ground ball.
There was big time hinder there. This ball hit the plate, came up, hit him in the side of the head, may have got his ear.
Pat Burrell leading off for the Giants in the last of the fourth in a 2-2 game. And now Dave Greshner, the trainer, out. See if he's okay, along with manager Bruce Bochy.
Now let's watch it. Foul ball comes right off the plate, hits him right in the side of the head. That's the last thing you think about it. And big leaguers, they don't like the look of a double ear flap helmet. They just don't. But if you'd had one on right there, not a problem. You would have had more protection. But still, chicks dig the one flap helmet. So you're not going to see the two flapper anytime soon.
Offensive interference, an act by the team at bat that interferes with, obstructs, impedes, hinders, or confuses any fielder attempting to make a play. And that makes the man out. So it's a walk for Pat Burrell leading off here in the fourth inning. And you mentioned the very long period of time that Clayton Richard was out there on the mound without a game being played.
Well, and it becomes an unusual rhythm. And when you're out there for a long time, and you've thrown your 8 warm-up pitches, and now all of a sudden there's that period where you're kind of floating. Your concentration can go out the door. You do not do your pitcher a favor by arguing a long time and keeping him out there.
The changeup too high to Pablo Sandoval, who hit a fly ball to right. Was that called a strike?
It was.
Oh, a high strike, not too high, just at the upper reaches of the strike zone.
First high strike we've seen from Jim Wolf tonight, right at the belt.
And Burrow, who only had a one-step lead, a long step back to the bag. 0-1 to Pablo Sandoval. He's been hitting better right-handed here lately. Another changeup, another strike. Pablo into the game hitting .246 against right-handed pitching.
Just throw it out there and let the movement sort of float off the plate away, and they know how aggressive Sandoval is. They also know he's hot.
One ball, two strikes to Sandoval. Uribe on deck. Giants got 2 in the first. The Padres got 2 in the second.
Kind of pitching it backwards. There's a lot of slow stuff up front to get to the 0-2, then sneak attack a 93-mile-an-hour fastball by him. Coming hard with a fastball again.
Back to the screen. Got jammed on that one. 1-2.
Now he's got a nice cut to that fastball, and you saw him freeze Andres Torres in the second inning with that same location on the inside corner. It's a good weapon for him. He tried to go back in there again, just a little bit of a leak out over the plate. But he definitely understands both sides of the plate with the fastball.
Juggled by Tejada, but still just in time to get Burrow, who's just not a very fast runner. Sandoval safe at first.
Well, the Giants catch a break there. Was not a double play. Ball came up on Tejada, and he did not have much of a grip. But as you mentioned, Burrow is below average speed. He's going to give an infielder a chance to recover and still get that lead out. And how close was it? Not really.
Uribe single to right his first time.
Now he's been hot. When you see him use the right side of the field, you know he's dialed.
Denorfia and Sandoval will have to return to first. 2 down. Aaron Rowan coming up. 2-2 in the 4th inning.
Well, Aaron Rowan's the X factor. He's the X factor because he is a guy that is very comfortable hitting in this 8 spot. And he knows the rules down there. You're in an expanding role as a hitter in the 8th hole because you're not getting much protection with that guy on deck, the pitcher. And he could care less. And he's got power.
Sandoval, who also had a very short lead, back to the bag. Padres playing this game under protest. And you can see with the Padres, I think you can see what they're talking about is that ball had hit off Jonathan Sanchez, and the chances of them throwing out Denorfia were not good. But I think there's a flip side to that, which is that if Scott Hairston lived up to his obligation to stay out of the way of the fielder trying to field that ground ball, which he's obligated to do, that might have slowed him down enough where Sanchez could have gotten him out, and the inning would have been over. Freddie Sanchez is not under obligation to just continue in and get into a collision with the much bigger guy at risk of bodily harm. That is not the way the rule reads. The high strike. 3-1 to Aaron Rowan.
Well, one more look, and you can see how the path to the ball for Freddie Sanchez was altered by the route of Hairston.
That is not only perfectly legal for Hairston to run out of what we call the baseline. He can reestablish a baseline. He's obligated to do that. With the runner going, the foul, and that gets a piece of Ludwick Torrealba. And he's going to try and shake it off and go out to talk to Clayton Richard.
Yeah, I think it got more than a piece. I think it got a slab. If you ever thought about being a catcher, that might make you change your mind. But 10 seconds is up. Back in the squad. Here we go. I'm a catcher. They're a rare breed, man. They are a rare breed. I love catchers.
You were a catcher?
I was.
And then you outgrew it.
Yes, I did.
Chase Headley from deep third in the dirt. But just get it somewhere in the vicinity of Adrian Gonzalez, and he'll handle it. 2-2 onto the pin. This is John Miller along with Mike Krukow and Raj Mathai. The Giants 2, the Padres 2, the top two teams in the National League's Western Division going head to head. Clayton Richard, the San Diego pitcher, leads off here in the fifth. He struck out looking his first time. Jonathan Sanchez on the mound for the Giants, and he's behind him. 2-0. Sanchez, after starting very strongly in the first inning, had been very shaky with his control ever since. He's thrown 70 pitches in the game. There's a strike.
He's created a lot of hitting opportunity by falling victim to hitting counts. Now, I'll say this tonight, though, his split-finger fastball has been a reliable pitch. And he's thrown that a lot when he's been behind. He's thrown it 2-0. He threw it 2-1 here, back-to-back pitches. And that is something that he didn't have last year. But it's still not an easy way to pitch when you're constantly behind the count. I mean, it's not the way you're taught.
Still 2-2. Dodgers lost today in Atlanta 1-0 to Tim Hudson, who won his 14th game. Billy Wagner got the save in the ninth inning. Brooks Conrad hit a home run in the seventh inning. That was the only run of the game. You can see it posted on the hand-operated scoreboard here at AT&T Park. Broken bat. Huff from his knees. Sanchez covering just in time.
Wow, how about that play? And this is from a guy that in one day is playing right field, same game in left field, and then they throw him in the infield once a week, and he comes up with this kind of a play, backhander, and then it gets himself up and squares a perfect throw right to Jonathan Sanchez. And we're going to make that our Lexus Pursuing Perfection play, brought to you by your Bay Area Lexus dealers. This is just such a hard play, and he makes it look so easy. Great glove work. Another look. You can look at that 5 more times and not get bored.
Jerry Hairston Jr. He has doubled and walked. And a curveball spins in there for a called strike. Hairston got picked off in the 3rd inning. And really, it was caught stealing. He took off with the pitch, and it was a swing and a miss by Tejada. And then he pulled up lame halfway to 2nd. And they got him in a rundown and tagged him out. We wondered if he was going to be able to continue, but he's still in there.
Now, this game's been kind of tainted by some suspect base running from both clubs.
Hairston led off the 1st inning with a double, and then he got thrown out trying to go to 3rd when he should have just gone back to 2nd. And that's a called strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And then he stopped halfway to 2nd on a hit and run play when Tejada swung and missed. And then we noted that he limped off the field and was hurting. Sanchez missed just a little bit high. A little bit high, a little bit wide.
He's ticked off at himself for that one. He really got underneath that. He tried to add, flew the front shoulder, collapsed the elbow below the shoulder, and just pushed the ball. And that's what happens. You throw it that way, you're going to lose it high.
2-2. And that'll go out of play. That pitch, the one before, the high wide one, there used to be a pitcher named Rex Barney who threw 100 miles an hour, but it was extremely wild for the Dodgers in the 40s. And a writer in New York once said, if the strike zone was high and outside, Rex Barney be in the Hall of Fame.
He just didn't pitch in the league with the right strike zone.
Down the left field line, foul.
If you think back when Jonathan Sanchez first came up to the big leagues, he would get into a nice groove, find that arm slot, and he would blow people away. And then it would take one pitch where he would collapse and get underneath the ball. He'd get into a push, and then he couldn't get back up into the arm slot. And that's one thing that he's been able to do here as he has progressed, is he's able to find it after an errant throw.
1 out, nobody on in the 5th inning. 2-2 the score. Shallow right, and out number 2 is Andres Torres takes it.
All right, what do you say we take a look at our scenic shot of the game, brought to you by Fry's. Your best buys are always at Fry's, guaranteed. The Golden Gate Bridge looking across the most beautiful city in the United States. Across the bay, Baghdad by the Bay.
From Fort Cronkite, that view, that famous view of the city. And then another very famous body of water, of more recent vintage. Didn't used to be famous. McCovey Cove. Pat Burrell on the run. Tejada is retired. 3 up and 3 down. First time that Sanchez has had one of those. Today for special 0 down lease offers on new 2010 models. Mariners over Cleveland. And the Orioles beat the Rays. The Orioles 9-2 under their new manager, Buck Showalter. Rather remarkably, since they were 32-73 when he took over. Red Sox Rangers have been 8 home runs hit there in Texas. Extra innings 9-9. 1 ball, 1 strike now. White Sox lead the Tigers 8-4, top 9 in Chicago. They've been in a rain delay in Kansas City. The Royals leading the Yankees. Jerry Hairston throws out Jonathan Sanchez. 1 away. Jonathan is 0 for 2, and leadoff man Andres Torres is coming up. The National League, the Nats won. The Reds beat the Marlins. The Mets got a one-hit shutout from R.A. Dickey against the Phillies. The Braves beat the Dodgers 1-0. Back at Tim Hudson. Astros over the Bucks. Cardinals beat the Cubs. The 2 longtime rivals meeting in St. Louis. And the Rockies are trailing the Brewers 4-2 at Coors Field in the last of the 8th. Rockies have really been struggling. They had gone back on the road and true to form, not a happy story for the Rockies on the road. Colorado is 8.5 out. Base hit. Andres Torres, who had a walk in the first and scored the Giants' first run, is on board for the 2nd time now against Clayton Richard. Colorado is 13 below 500 on the road, 23-36 as a road team. They have the best record of any team in the division at home, 36-19.
You know, they've kind of always been that way, but now because of the way that the balls are humidified and you're getting real baseball in Coors Field now, that really doesn't make sense to me as to why they're not as good on the road as they are at home.
Well, they beat the Giants, and the Giants were there last week back at Ubaldo Jimenez. Then they went on the road and no more offense. Sanchez chasing that eye-high fastball and fouling it out of play. Freddie is 0 for 2.
He covers that pitch well. I mean, he's a good high fastball hitter. I think he's a good high ball hitter. He's a good middle in hitter. And when he stays in the strike zone, he's a good hitter, period. It's when he goes and he gets a little jumpy up there and starts diving out stuff off the plate away. That's when he gets into trouble.
Torres, who is the Giants' stolen base leader, 23 steals for the year. He did not steal a bag, not officially in the first inning, but I think the Giants looked at it as a steal. A ball in the dirt that bounced out in front of the plate by just 3 or 4 feet, and he took second and went to third when Torrealba's hurried throw went into center field.
Well, he is right on that imaginary 45-degree line that's supposed to go from the mound to halfway between home and first. Now, when you throw to first, you have to step on the first base side of that imaginary line. If you step on the home plate side of that imaginary line and throw to first, that's a balk. And I mean, he is right there on that line. And if you notice Clayton Richard, when he throws the ball to first base, he will walk completely out the mound. He'll get off that plant step quickly so as not to give any umpire a good look as to where he's stepping.
0-2 the count.
He's got a great move.
Slider in the dirt, knocked down by Torrealba. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Aubrey Huff on deck.
We mentioned earlier that Clayton Richard has 5 pickoffs this year. And he's just one of the more difficult guys to steal off of. He's got a lot of different looks he can give you, very deceptive. See him walk right off the mound. Which is the way he's taught to do it. I mean, and that's all left-handers are instructed to do that.
Tejada, there's one, and Hairston double play. And that ends the inning. And that great move allowed that double play scenario to stay in effect. And Adrian Gonzalez, the Padres slugging first baseman, will lead off here. The big guys are up. Gonzalez and then the former Cardinal, Brian Ludwick, against Jonathan Sanchez. 2-2, sixth inning. That ball hit well into left center field. Rowan down the run. It is up against the wall at the 382 marker. And a double for Gonzalez. He had gone 0 for 2. First ball swinging. And Gonzalez has been so hot here the last several days. Gets the Padres going.
Well, he really stays inside the ball. Knob lead, and watch that bat head follow. His approach to left field has been one of the greatest parts of his game his whole career. One of the most powerful guys the opposite way in either league. And he does it against lefties consistently. I mean, he's got a fearless front side. That shoulder is, I think it's as strong a shoulder as Todd Helton's. Great approach.
And now Ryan Ludwick, who has been called out on strikes and flied out to center. He's hit 3 home runs in the last 4 games. Base hit to left field. 2 pitches into the inning, and the Padres have runners at first and third with nobody out against Sanchez.
And Mark Gardner, the Giants bullpen coach, heading down. I was going to see some activity down there for the Giants.
That's 5 hits for the Padres now, and it will be Santiago Casilla who's going to start throwing. And Righetti out to the mound to talk to Jonathan Sanchez. And one thing, when you play the Padres, their bullpen, we mentioned their pitching has been the foundation of their success. But of that pitching staff, they've been a club, when they've been ahead through 5 innings, they go to the 6th ahead. That bullpen can come in at any time from that point onward, and it is very tough to mount any offense against that Padre bullpen, and the Giants have experienced that firsthand all too many times this year already. And here we are in the 6th inning, and the Padres are in great position now to go ahead. Yorvik Torrealba hit by a pitch in the second. That started a 2-run rally, and he flied out to shallow center his next time. Giants with the middle infield double play depth. They'll give away the go-ahead run to get to double play. And there's a strike. Torrealba hitting .311 for the year. One ball, one strike.
Well, Sanchez pitching for the strikeout. That's something he's most comfortable with in the strikeout scenario. I mean, they take a ground ball to get a pair and give up just one to minimize the damage in this inning.
Torrealba in this scenario this year is hitting .434. Runners in scoring position. Sandoval's got to go home. Gonzalez in a rundown. Posey back to third. Sandoval runs him down and finally gets him. And did he hurt himself? That rundown took so long that both runners advanced an extra base.
It was not a well-run rundown. I think this could be a faceplant here. I mean, you got to credit Adrian Gonzalez for staying. Watch him as his face hits the ground. Boom! I mean, that's a snowboard faceplant right there. I've done that a few times. Ouch! You will definitely see stars.
But that is not the way it's supposed to happen. So Torrealba hits into the fielder's choice, and the Padres come out of it better than where they started.
And all because of the effort of Adrian Gonzalez staying out of the tag. And good heads-up running by both Torrealba and Ludwick on the back end. Neither one of those guys have great speed. And yet they move up into second and third. So Padres have a productive out.
And the double play is no longer in effect. If you get that play quickly, it's first and second with one out. Here's Headley, who's had a triple and a single. He has knocked in a run. 1 ball and no strikes. Sanchez has not been able to get him out. And Headley has as many hits tonight as he had in 17 previous at-bats against Sanchez. Switch hitter, batting right-handed. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He jumped on that fastball again. That's the beauty of a 1-0 count. You're looking for it, you get it, you're going to have a good rip at it, and you're going to square it up if it's in the strike zone.
Well, Sanchez ordinarily is a guy who gets a lot of strikeouts. He has 4 tonight, and this would be a good time to get one. Almost a wild pitch.
And I do not know how Buster Posey managed to catch this thing. This will take your shoulder right out of socket. He's sitting in the inside corner, and this thing goes way up. Just a straight arm backhand. And with the weight of a ball, and it gets heavy at 92 miles an hour, that does not feel good to catch a ball like that.
Out of play. 2-2 the count. Padres threatening to go ahead. The Giants scored first with a 2-run first inning rally. The Padres promptly tied it up in the second. Now 1 out here in the 6th, still 2-2. Runners at second and third. Scott Hairston on deck, as you saw. To shortstop. Uribe goes home, and he is safe. Uribe took a chance, and the throw is offline just enough that Ryan Ludwick able to slide around the tag, and it is 3-2 Padres. Torrealba holding at second.
Well, it took him to his backhand just enough to allow an opening for Ludwick in a very creative slide as he swings out wide and goes back and hand tags the plate. And Posey on a swipe tag not able to come in. And that's going to do it for Sanchez.
So Headley safe on the fielder's choice. They get no outs and RBI. The Padres are leading.
Japan Grassroots Summit presented by Kikkoman. That means a $20 special event ticket will get you a Masanori Murakami throwback jersey tee, a seat in the Japanese Heritage section, and a special appearance by Masanori Murakami will happen on that night. All of it on Japanese Heritage. Now, to take part, call 415-972-2298. Always a great night. Get out here. We're going to see Mashi.
Santiago Casilla in the pitch. When Murakami was a Giant, mostly used as a reliever, this might have been a situation where they, or at least an inning where they might have called on him. He had a lot of strikeouts in his one full season with the Giants, well over a strikeout per inning. He threw hard. 1 strike to Scott Hairston. Now, a run is in for the Padres, and indeed, the Padre bullpen is working. Get the lead by the 6th inning, bullpen gets working. And really, when you play the Padres, they use that bullpen the way most teams might start using it around the 7th inning. In the late innings. For the Padres, as Yogi Berra once said, it gets late early.
It gets late early. Now, they've got some quality arms down there.
And here's Hairston, the guy who has hurt the Giants many times over the years. And with a run already in, the Giants can ill afford to see the Padres get any more, even though it's only the 6th inning.
Now, this is an interesting at bat because of Hairston's ability to hit a good fastball. And the guy on the hill, Casilla, has got a great fastball. So that first pitch, strike one, was huge. Now he can throw a couple of pitches away from the fastball. And he doesn't have to come in the strike zone fat. He can stay to a corner.
Left center field, Rowand will get there. Tagging up at second, Torrealba. The throw cut off by Uribe. And the Padres have runners at first and third with 2 down. A week from Sunday, August 22nd, catch preseason 49ers football on NBC Bay Area. Watch as the Niners take on the Minnesota Vikings right here in San Francisco. Sunday, August 22nd, 5 p.m. on NBC Bay Area. Now Chris D'Onofrio has fouled out to first. Then he's the one who hit that ground ball that hit Sanchez, rolled over toward Freddie Sanchez, the second baseman. And then the interference occurred with Scott Hairston getting in the way of Freddie Sanchez. That created a lot of discussion, a lot of arguing, and finally the Padres played the game from that point onward under protest. So the same Chris D'Onofrio in the same situation. Runners at first and third and 2 down. One ball, one strike. Now Clayton Richard is out on deck, and he's pitched a very strong game, but the bullpen is getting ready. So you had that open base, but it's not a guarantee that Richard would hit.
Fastball at 96. And the thing about Casilla's fastball, he can 4-seam and 2-seam the grip. It changes the movement. And at that velocity, movement is, it can be devastating. It can really, really surprise a hitter. And just because, and by changing the grip, a 2-seam and a 4-seam at that velocity, you're talking about 2 different pitches off of the same fastball.
2-2. Over to the Giants dugout with that foul ball.
It is the advantage of being able to throw hard. And we've seen him throw at times 100 miles an hour since he's put on a Giants uniform. And a great arm.
Casilla has had a couple of days off since his last outing, although his last outing saw him pitch 3 innings against the Cubs. Shut him down. He also pitched beautifully for a couple of innings under duress Sunday in Atlanta. The curveball strikes him out. Beauty. But the Padres are ahead with Huff, Posey, and Burrow coming up.
to get healthy again. Jeremy Affeldt been out for a little while with an oblique injury. Tonight began his rehab assignment down in San Jose for the single-A San Jose Giants. He started the game, pitched just 1 inning, 21 pitches, gave up 2 hits, and 0 earned runs. So the Giants just waiting ASAP. They want Affeldt back in here. Guys?
All right, thanks for that update, Raj. Raj Mathai, sports director from NBC Bay Area. Clayton Richard to Aubrey Huff, and the count is 2-0. The Padres had the bullpen going. Got the call on that one, and it's 2-1. Ernesto Frieri, who had been up during the first half of this inning, is up again for the Pods. And Gonzalez will take it himself. Aubrey Huff 1 for 3 in the game. He had a double and an RBI back in the first inning.
Well, as soon as we sign off from tonight's game on NBC Bay Area and affiliated Giants Network stations, Giants fan can watch continuing post-game coverage with interviews and expert analysis on a special edition of Sportsnet Central on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area.
Buster Posey has singled to left and flied out to center. And it's low. This has been a crazy game. Padres playing it under protest. And the usually reliable first baseman Gonzalez had a tough time with that one, but Clayton Richard took nothing for granted and hustled over and was there waiting for Gonzalez' recovery and throw. 2 down.
Now let's take a look at the play. Inside, out, a one-hop seed. And you don't normally see a little panic there from Gonzalez, who's got as sure hands as anybody at first base in this league. And it will put a smile on a pitcher as long as you got the out.
Now Pat Burrell. Right there in the outside corner. And it's 0-1. Burrell has had an RBI with a force out and is walked. 3-2 Padres, 6th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. For the Giants, a 2-run first inning. The Padres immediately tied it in the second. But the Giants had first and second, nobody out, and Jonathan Sanchez up in their half of the second as Burrell has a base hit to right field.
Well, that's an important swing of the bat because the Giants were going very quietly this time through the lineup. And third time through, and you're in the heart of the lineup against a guy, and you expect to do a little damage. 2 quick outs by Clayton Richards. I mean, everybody in the Giants dugout, I'm sure, very concerned until this swing of the bat. Now this extends the inning. Nice opposite field approach. Pat Burrell stays hot.
Pablo Sandoval, who's 0 for 2, comes up. But the Giants had an inning just disintegrate on them in the second. First and second, nobody out. Sanchez was up. Jonathan, that is, to bunt the runners over with the top of the order coming up. And he did not get it done. Then a base running blunder by Aaron Rowan. He just took off for third from second base before the pitcher ever even broke from his stretch. And he was turned into an easy out. And then the inning ended moments later. And they have not really had any kind of a serious threat since. 1 ball, 1 strike to Pablo. Two down, Burrell at first. Gonzalez on the bag with him. Right, back to Richard. And that changeup. We've been fooling Pablo with it all night. We're going to the 7th inning. 3-2 Padres.
Will Venable is a pinch hitter.
Clayton Richard, 6 innings and out. And the Padres just do not hesitate to go to that bullpen. The whole game for the Padres is about getting it to the bullpen. So Will Venable, no swing. The count 1 ball and 1 strike. So Clayton Richard is finished. The Padres have the right-hander who's been death to the Giants this year, Luke Gregerson, warming up. Along the left field line, but foul into the Giants bullpen area and up into the crowd. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 3-2, San Diego ahead. The Giants made a trade before the game today, acquiring the veteran right-handed hitter, a power hitter, RBI man, Jose Guillen, and he is not due to arrive in San Francisco till about 10 o'clock, but he's not eligible for this game. They'll activate him tomorrow as Venable goes down on strikes.
Boy, that is a great curveball from Casilla. Well, Giants baseball is brought to you by Budweiser, official beer of the Thirst Inning. Let's check out the crowd through the Thirst Inning fan cam and see who's enjoying the game. Budweiser, it's what we do. We're having fun. Lots of smiles in the yard tonight. It's a Friday night crowd. Anticipating a good game, and they've been given a good game. Very tightly played. The Budweiser Thirst Inning can.
There was a fan for whom it was Orange Friday hoodie night. Jerry Hairston Jr. has doubled, walked, and flied out to shallow right. Miguel Tejada on deck. Left center field. Burrow has plenty of room. 2 down.
Well, Friday, August 27th, the Diamondbacks are coming to San Francisco. It's Orange Friday. It's also Irish Heritage Night. A $20 special event ticket gets you into the pregame Irish celebration. You get to go to the Irish food and drink party, and you get to have the pregame entertainment. Plus, you get an Irish-themed Giants Stein. That's right. For tickets to Irish Heritage Night, call 415-972-2298.
Well, I want one of the. I want the Stein.
You want the Stein? $20. It's all yours.
One ball and no strikes to Miguel Tejada. He is hit into a fielder's choice, struck out, and flied out to shallow left. 0 for 3. 3-2. The Padres lead the Giants in the 7th. 3-2. That may sound all too familiar for Giants fans this year. Sandoval is going to have to hurry. Just got him. Nicely done. Adrian Gonzalez stranded on deck. Uribe coming up. 3-2 Pods. Charbroiled burger topped with a juicy Philly cheesesteak. That's the Philly cheesesteak burger. only at Carl's Jr. Wow. 3-2, the Padres on top as we go to the last of the 7. Clayton Richard, the starter, 6 innings, 2 runs, 6 hits allowed. Padres are playing the game under protest. Jonathan Sanchez, 5 1/3 innings, 3 runs, 5 hits allowed. Aubrey Huff had an RBI double to knock in the first Giants run of the game. They have not scored since the first inning. Padres go to their bullpen now. Will Venable, who pinch hit for Richard, the pitcher, stays into play left. Scott Hairston departs. And Luke Gregerson, who has been almost untouchable for the Giants, in the pitch.
Now, these are his numbers, and they're fantastic. Just 42 base runners in 56 innings, a 2.41 ERA, 68 strikeouts against 10 walks, and he's going to go low 90s.
Gonzalez, Gregerson covering, and 1 pitch and out for Uribe, who is now 1 for 3. There's Venable in left field. Gregerson has not allowed a run to the Giants this year or ever. This is his 14th career game against the Giants. And in 15 2/3 innings, including the out here by Uribe, he's only allowed the Giants 3 hits. No runs, 3 hits in 15 2/3 innings.
He's been amazing. As I mentioned, low 90s with lots of sink. And his slider is from some other world. It's been a fantastic pitch. And it's a no-dot slider. I mean, you don't see the eye that you traditionally see on the break of the slider.
Such as that one.
And, you know, you get after it, you're anticipating to not move like a slider is going to move, and you're just completely fooled by it. And the Giants just cannot figure him out. There you see the numbers.
And he hits that slider foul, does Aaron Rowan, who has a single and a ground out. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nate Scherholtz is on deck. Giants are down 3-2. There's Nate, who will pinch hit for Santiago, or apparently will pinch hit for Santiago Casilla. Strong inning and 2/3 from Casilla. Retired all 5 of the hitters he faced. Giants trying to get something going against Gregerson. Not easy to do. Well, Rowan with some pretty good pitch recognition there. 2-2 the count now.
And that's a strikeout pitch. He's got 21 strikeouts in 15 2/3 innings.
Against the Giants.
Against the Giants.
68 strikeouts, 56 innings against all comers this year. Oh, right there, the sinker. And Rowan called out on strikes.
You talk about bottoming out a sinker at 90 miles per hour. This was a Rambus radar gun pitch at 90. Rambus, at the heart of the products you love. Look at the movement on this thing. Boom. It almost handcuffs Toriyama. It looks like a left-handed breaking ball coming up there. And at 90, that is great late movement. Wow.
So 2 down for the Giants, and here is Scherholtz, the pinch hitter. Nate hitting .333 as a pinch hitter, 7 for 21. Over the outside corner, strike 1. So Gregerson with excellent control. He has allowed only 43 base runners in 56 2/3 innings now. That's hits, walks, and hit batsmen all put together. 43 runners allowed, 56 2/3 innings.
Well, the Giants went to San Diego and saw this guy, I think, 3 times in 3 games, and then they didn't do anything against him. They went on to Colorado, and they're watching San Diego play the Dodgers. Gregerson's pitching, and Russell Martin comes up, and he hangs a slider. And like in unison, 15 guys in the Giants clubhouse said, "You didn't do that against us." And he just has it against the Giants. He has been spot on.
One and 2 the count. Right along the first base line. And Gonzalez with the unassisted put out. The Giants go down quietly. Gonzalez is coming up.
to Jack Clark, and how about Craig Leffers? The Giants and Padres have swapped and exchanged a lot of players. Not just players, also managers and coaches. Bruce Bochy, of course, a big tough part of the Padres organization, and Giants third base coach Tim Flannery, a big part of the Padres. In fact, Flannery and his surfboard, a huge part of the Padres. He's essentially a bench player, a reserve infielder, but so popular down in San Diego. I was living down in San Diego in the late 80s. When Flannery retired, it was big deal. They gave him a Tim Flannery Flan Appreciation Night. Almost 50,000 people at Jack Murphy Stadium. A real big part of San Diego, but of course now his heart here in San Francisco. Gentlemen.
Tim Flannery. I have one of his albums.
I have 3 of his CDs. He's got a CD in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. How about that?
I didn't know that. He never told me that.
He put it there.
Ramon Ramirez in to pitch for the Giants. Adrian Gonzalez fouls one away. He played 972 games for the Pods from 1979 until 1989. Only Tony Gwynn, Hall of Famer, Gary Templeton, and Dave Winfield, another Hall of Famer, with more as Padres. 3 infielders to the right of second with the Giants against the slugging Gonzalez. And the splitter 0-2. Now Gonzalez hit a double on the first pitch he saw against Jonathan Sanchez in the 6th inning to left center field, and that started the rally that eventually put the Padres ahead. 3-2 they lead now. Right into the defense, Aubrey Huff. He'll play it unassisted, and a big out there with Ryan Ludwick coming up. Rockies were trailing tonight in the 8th inning, but they're back home. Into the 8th inning, a 3-run rally, and a 4-2 deficit became a 5-4 lead. Houston Street saved it in the 9th. 5-4. The Rockies came back and beat the Brewers.
Houston Street, a new daddy, had a brand new boy. You know what he named it?
No.
Ripken Ray.
Wow. Ripken. The first name is Ripken?
That's it.
Wow.
Ripken Ray Street.
And what was the Ray for?
Ray Charles. Come on, everybody knows that.
One ball and 1 strike to count to Ryan Ludwick, who is 1 for 3.
Yeah, Jeff Kuiper in our ears suggests Ray Fosse. Come on, everybody knows that.
Well, Houston Street used to be with the Oakland Athletics.
What could happen?
I'm going with Ray Charles.
Nice split by Ramon Ramirez. This guy's such a great piece to have in a bullpen because he can throw just about every day. Very durable relief pitcher.
One and 2 the count, working very deliberately. And past Sandoval down the left field line. And knocked around by Burrow, but I don't think it would have mattered. It's a double for Ludwick, one way or the other. His 2nd straight hit. He's the one who scored that go-ahead run in the 6th inning.
He came back with another split. Ball hit sharply just past Sandoval. So with 1 out, they get a runner in scoring position.
And Yorvit Torrealba at the plate. Yorvit came into this game hitting .434 with runners in scoring position. Although he hit into a fielder's choice in the 6th inning, but that was a big play as well. And the fastball in there for a strike. The Giants had a chance because there was a 1st and 3rd nobody out situation. If they'd been able to get Adrian Gonzalez quickly, it would have been 1 out with runners at 1st and 2nd. But Gonzalez managed to stay in the rundown for a long time, and both of the trailing runners advanced. And that set up the run that has them leading. And foul ground, Huff. Torrealba.
Big out there.
2 down. And now another tough hitter, Chase Headley. He's had 2 RBIs in this game. And
he was one of those guys that was stone cold coming in here. It's amazing how, in the mind of a big league athlete, how you just get a clean slate when you go from series to series, or road trip to homestand, or month to month. A lot of different ways to create a new start for yourself mentally.
The pitcher's spot is due up next. And Mike Adams, the 8th inning setup man, is getting ready in the bullpen. And there is Matt Stayers, a left-handed hitter, out on deck. The Giants have Javier Lopez, the left-hander, up in the bullpen now. At the knees for a strike. Padres have a right-handed hitter in their bench as well. There's Adams getting ready for the last of the 8th inning. The Giants will have the top of their order up. Javier Lopez getting ready in case Stayers gets into the game. Here in the 8th inning. Ludwick at second, 2 down, 3-2, Padres. And out of play off the third base side.
Going to be an interesting at bat with Mike Adams facing Andres Torres right off the get-go. It was Andres Torres that took Mike Adams deep in a game down in San Diego. The only time that the Giants have beaten the Padres this year in 8 games.
Ramon Ramirez. 2-2.
Trying to pursue a double right here. He's got 2 pitches to go out of the strike zone with an open base.
There's Ludwick with his lead at second. Now time taken as Headley backs away. 3 runs, 6 hits, an error for the Padres. 2 runs, 6 hits, an error for the Giants.
Big dip. Kind of reminds you of Dennis Martinez, the way he gets gathered into a stretch.
Strike 3 called. Top of the order, Torres, Sanchez, and Huff.
Make some noise here, catch up and tie this game against the Padres, and that leads us to our Sun Power play. They went out and got Jose Guillen earlier today. Guillen on a flight right now from Miami to SFO, should arrive within the next hour, and they know Guillen's power firsthand. As a member of the Kansas City Royals, this was in 2008, Guillen, a 2-run homer against the Giants off Billy Sadler. That was in 2008. So they're looking for Guillen to get here in San Francisco tonight. He will likely make his Giants debut tomorrow afternoon. Gentlemen.
All right, Raj, many thanks. And there is Mike Adams, a tough right-hander. He spent some time with the disabled list here recently, but he's back now. And we saw how Gregerson was having a great year. The batting average against Adams is 179, 44 in the third innings pitched, 29 hits allowed, 50 strikeouts, only 12 walks. He, too, has allowed fewer base runners than he's pitched innings.
And he's got 4 pitches he can give you. He's got a high 3/4 release. He'll go high 80s, low 90s. Not going to blow you away with speed, but good movement. Got a nice cut fastball, slider, and a change.
Right at the knees for a called strike.
And he'll say that a lot, right at the knees. He's got exceptional command.
Slider off the outside. Adams faced the Giants back on May the 18th in San Diego. And the Padres were leading 4-2 in the 8th inning. The Giants got a couple of runs against them. Andres Torres hit a 2-run homer to tie that game.
That is the only home run he's given up.
It was Andres' second home run of the year. He's got 11 now. And the Giants have a game that needs tying up again against Adams.
I think he's about due to give up another. What do you think? Straightaway defense employed by the Padres.
2-1 the count. 2-2. Staying with that slider. Down around the knees. Torres has walked and scored a run, struck out and singled. Freddie Sanchez on deck. The Giants need somebody to get on base. They've had only 2 hits since the second inning. And no real scoring threats since then. Out of play. Off to the left. Into the upper deck. Torres has had only 2 career plate appearances previously against Adams. The first one, he got a walk, and the next one, he hit the home run against him. Two and two. The backdoor slider off the outside. 3-2. Well, if you face Adams with the Padres in town, this is the scenario. It's going to be the 8th inning, and your team's going to be behind. That's almost the only time he gets used. So it's always a big spot. 3-2. Struck him out.
A good hard slider right down there, down and in. He's just got so much movement, so many different looks he can give you, and they can all strike you out. And you've got to protect. You're up there trying to have a good at bat, and he drops that on you. That's, you say, well, gee, it's out of the strike zone. Why didn't you take it? You just can't, because you're thinking in your mind that's going to be in the strike zone. Great pitch.
Freddie Sanchez now 0 for 3 in the game. He's hit one back to the pitcher, fly to left, and grounded into an inning-ending double play. He chased that cutter as it ran off the outside. The Giants have not scored since the first inning. They put 2 on the board against Richard in the first. And they have been shut down ever since. 0-2.
You know, this type of bullpen really puts pressure on an offense to score early in a ball game. And as you mentioned, I mean, they can stretch it out to the 6th, 7th, and 8th, and 9th innings, and that's just a 4-inning game that they can eat up.
Shallow right field, base hit. And Aubrey Huff coming up with 1 out and 1 on.
Well, Aubrey Huff in the first inning, a double. And got this crowd into this game very early. And that hit of the game is brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. Visit CacheCreek.com for upcoming events.
Giants are going to send in Emmanuel Burris, a faster runner, to first base, representing the possible tying run of the game. So Freddie Sanchez departs. And Burris gives the Giants a little more speed, plus a base-stealing threat at first base. Torrealba has not had a good time of it trying to throw out would-be base stealers the last couple of years. Deep right center field. Denorfia. He's got it. Burris was already around second, and back to first. He did re-tag the bag.
Well, he got that one.
It's here and maybe Petco Park. The parts in this league where that one does not go out.
Well, this totally rattles a hitter. I mean, he backspins this thing coming out of the box. He's thinking it's out of here. And let's take a look at the flat of the ball with the splash cam. And the Northfield with room to spare. And that absolutely rocks a hitter. And you can see the reaction.
So now Buster Posey. Frustration visible. Giants down by a run. And Burris scurries back to the bag. Brian Wilson is now throwing in the Giants bullpen.
Yeah, I don't blame Huff for being hot. He put out a great at bat.
Headley at third, hugging the line. And the slider too low to Buster Posey. This is the first time, or not, it is not the first time that Adams has seen Posey. Posey's had another at bat against him. Grounded out. Posey is 1 for 3 in the game. Big holes open on both sides of the infield with Gonzalez on the bag at first with the runner and Headley hugging the line at third. There you see it. Ooh.
Got a good pitch to hit there. A little bit of a hang time to that slider on the 1-0 count. And one thing we've learned about Buster Posey, he's a good mistake hitter. That was a backup slider. And Torrealba was going to come out and talk to Adams about it. Dude, don't throw that again.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah, another thing, too, when you see the Padres and their bullpen, the way they are constructed, when Gregerson or Mike Adams come into a ballgame, there's nobody else in that bullpen. Bud Black treats these guys just like they're closers.
Burris did not have a big lead. He's been able to go back standing on each pickoff throw from Adams. Strike 2 call. Pat Burrell would be next. It's just the way the Padres have racked up the wins all through the season. Get a lead early, hand it to the bullpen, game over. Giants trying to mount a comeback. Hit softly off the end of the bat. Tejada throws him out, and we go to the 9th inning. 3-2, the Padres are leading after 8. Ramon Ramirez was out there to warm up. Tony Gwynn Jr. now coming up as a pinch hitter for the Pods. And the Giants do have Javier Lopez ready in the bullpen, although Denorfia, a right-handed hitter, is out on deck. And then Venable, a lefty, is due up third. But Bruce Bochy's going to stay with the right-hander, Ramon Ramirez. Fastball, a strike. Gwynn is hitting .211. 3 home runs, 19 batted in. He does get a lot of walks, though. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, I would think that'd be one thing that Tony Gwynn would teach his son. The art of patience in a batter's box. Because Tony Gwynn certainly had it.
A ball and 2 strikes now. Padres closer Heath Bell is getting ready in the bullpen. Getting ready for the last of the 9th. Right now with a 1-run lead. Padres 21 wins, 15 losses in games decided by 1 run.
Last time we saw Tony Gwynn Jr., I mean, he had a beard. He said he wasn't going to shave until he started hitting .250. And it was getting long and straggly. But he cut it off. He's hit .211.
Shallow left field. Uribe out. Burrow in. And Burrow. Uribe getting out of his way at the last. So Gwynn is retired.
Infielders will go out there and they're calling for the ball, but they're also listening, because an outfielder will always have precedent over an infielder going back on a ball and a pop up to the outfield. And you know what? They're happy when they hear the guy call him off. Much easier play for a guy coming in than going back.
Denorfia, 1 ball and no strikes. He's 0 for 3, the 8th place hitter. Denorfia, who was involved in the controversial play where the Padres did not score a run because of offensive interference by the runner Scott Hairston going into second base as Freddie Sanchez was coming in to field a ground ball. Padres protested that interpretation of the rules. 3-0 the count. When you protest a game, the only way it really gets heard by Major League Baseball, by the powers that be, is if you lose that game and it was determined that that was a key play in losing it. So Denorfia gets a walk with 1 out. And Venable, the left-handed hitter, is coming up. And Bruce Bochy's got a left-hander, Javier Lopez, ready in the bullpen, and he is going to be summoned. Bochy has made the call. 1 out, a runner at first. The Padres leading 3-2. Lopez makes his way in, and we will be right back. John Miller, along with Mike Krukow and Raj Mathai from AT&T Park. The series continues tomorrow at 1:10 p.m. It'll be radio only on the Giants KNBR radio network. So it'll be a part of the national Saturday afternoon Fox television package. And then Sunday at 1:05, the finale of the series. The Giants down 3-2 in this game. Got the rally hat on. He's get the rally hat early for the last of the ninth inning.
You know, he looks to me like he wakes up and puts the rally hat on every day, just like that.
Well, that's an optimistic person.
Yep.
Giants have lost 2 times to the Padres this year, 3-2. They've lost 2 times 1-0. They've lost a 3-1 game. And that has been part of why the Giants are 1-7 against the Padres. Of course, that was early in the year when almost every team in the division was beating the Giants. It's Venable with a swinging strike against Javier Lopez. The Giants, though, have gone 10-2 against the Western Division since that very poor start within the division. But now facing the Padres, the first place team, and trailing 3-2. Foul tip, 0-2. Heath Bell getting ready. The Padres closer. Bell, who has one more save than the Giants' Brian Wilson to lead the league. Getting ready for the ninth inning. The Giants have Pat Burrell, Pablo Sandoval, and Juan Uribe due up. Back to the bag, Denorfia. Denorfia has 6 steals for the year. 0-2 to Will Venable. The right-handed hitting, Jerry Hairston Jr. on deck. Chris Ray, a right-hander, is warming up in the Giants bullpen.
.87-mile-an-hour fastball, just missing that inside corner. We've seen Javier Lopez with velocity over 90. I mean, and from down as low an arm angle as he could give you, that's pretty rare. You think about guys who really throw that hard, and Brian Fuentes comes to mind, but they just don't come along that often.
Chops it foul.
Lopez will go, anywhere between 84 to 91, given, depending on the arm angle. He can go a high sidearm down to just pure Laredo, a submarine style. Give you 2 types of slider and a changeup. And really understands mixing speeds.
Stepped off the slab and almost picked off Denorfia.
Well, you know what set that play up? Quick feet. And he's a big guy. And Denorfia, who is a base leader, just does get back. Watch the feet. That sets the play up.
The foul ball down toward the Padre bullpen. 1-2.
Beg your pardon. I thought we were going to see a replay of that throw to first.
I was ready for it.
John, you're always ready.
He threw the pitch. I thought he threw that ball to first. You had me looking at the feet, though, and he was still quick, even though he was throwing the pitch.
Oh, yeah, it's all about the feet.
Just foul. Aubrey Huff had just moved off the bag. Here's the one you're talking about, Mike.
Watch the feet. And that's a practice move. And that's a great training tip for pitchers who are in leagues where they have to hold runners on. If you're left-handed, that little hop to your back foot, you don't take a full stride. It's just you just open your feet up and hop back to your back foot. And he employs that about as good as anybody I've ever seen. Because you can hurt your arm on that snap throw. But with his footwork, you won't.
2-2.
At least you lessen your chances of it.
Venable hanging tough. I used to call that throw the Mulholland pickoff.
Yeah, he had it. Terry Mulholland was as good as I've ever seen. Holding runners on, picking runners off. He was almost impossible to steal off of.
Uribe. And remember, he was in a little bit for the double play and cheating toward second.
One hop to a high backhander. Just a great first step, sets this play up, and he's got some hops. Nice pick. And he immediately licked up first with his cannon. Why not?
So Javier Lopez gets his lefty. Ray comes in to try and get the right-handed hitting Jerry Hairston, although perhaps they'll pinch hit for him. We'll find out. On a relief of Javier Lopez, who got his left-handed hitter. And in fact, Jerry Hairston Jr. will bat for himself here. He is 1 for 3 plus a walk. And Ray comes in for the 18th time as a member of the Giants, the 53rd time overall this year. He started the year in Baltimore. Ray worked an inning yesterday in a tough inning through 27 pitches. But here they are hoping he'll just have to face the one man. Denorfia at first and a pitch out. Denorfia not running.
Well, the best time to go is right after a pitch out.
Hairston has had a look at the third base coach, Glenn Hoffman. So has Denorfia over at first. He's not running. And a fastball for a strike from Ray. 3-2. The Padres ahead here in the ninth. Giants with Burrell, Sandoval, and Uribe due up. Last of the ninth against Heath Bell, the closer, getting ready in the pen. Denorfia back to the bag. It's been a difficult 8 or 9 days for the Giants bullpen. The fewest innings pitched out of the bullpen in that time, 2 2/3 innings. And most often 3, 4, and as many as 5 or even 5 1/3. Been a couple of extra inning games in that period where the bullpen worked 5 or more. 1-2 the count to Hairston.
Well, they were fortunate. There was a time there where they had 13 pitchers to absorb some of that. But I know one thing. They are looking forward to this day off on Monday. Days off in August are much appreciated.
A ball and 2 strikes to Jerry Hairston Jr. Huff on the bag with Denorfia at first. Huff comes over to the Padres dugout, but that is into the crowd. 1-2. Padres #1 in the National League in pitching. In fact, #1 in all of Major League Baseball in pitching. There's Heath Bell. He'll be asked to try and lock it down in the last of the ninth. The Giants #3 in the majors in pitching. And as you might expect, they played a lot of low-scoring games. And tonight is such a game. There goes Denorfia. Posey's throw. And the tag, and he's out.
Wow. What a throw.
Last chance for the Giants. Burrow side the ball to Uribe.
He's a police officer and a junior Giant commissioner from Hayward, your old stomping grounds.
3-2 to Burrow. And a pop-up. Adrian Gonzalez. So on 9 pitches, Bell prevails, 1 away. Pablo Sandoval. Pablo 2 for 4. Plus 3 walks against Heath Bell, which is interesting since Bell didn't walk that many guys, and Pablo rarely walks. But he walked 3 out of the 7 times he's faced Bell.
A lot of panda hats.
A lot of the fans standing here trying to inspire the Giants. And there is strike 1. Pablo hitless tonight. And he'd been getting a lot of hits. He had a triple and a homer yesterday, his first homer in 2 months. One ball, 1 strike. Pablo had 7 hits in his last 11 at bats the last 3 games, but 0 for 3 tonight. The Giants have not scored since the first inning. Looking for some late night magic. The curve on the back door, strike 2 call.
Boy, he wrapped it right around the corner too. Sandoval going to take another walk. Set up outside right on the corner. This thing curves right around the plate. And Jim Wolf definitely touched him. He's an umpire that calls it where it's caught.
2-2. Juan Uribe on deck. Full count.
Staying away, which he so often does at Petco Park in San Diego. I mean, his fastball late in the game, I mean, it's going to go that outside corner. Rarely does he go on the inside corner. Basically saying, if you're going to beat me, you're going to beat me away. But he can shave a strike on that outside corner as good as anybody.
Just off the outside, and Torrealba not happy with the call. So a walk for Pablo. The possible tying run is on base with Uribe coming up. This was Uribe against Bell earlier this year in San Diego in the last of the ninth, or in the top of the ninth, and that tied a game. A blown save for Heath Bell.
A hanging breaking ball. And you know that he has not forgotten that pitch.
Very high. Uribe with that hit, that home run against Bell. That's the only time he's ever had a hit against Bell. 1 hit, 7 at bats. Lifetime. Headley continues to hug the foul line at third. Did he swing? Yeah, the plate umpire made the call himself. 1 ball, 1 strike. Giants down by a run. The possible tying run is on base. Sandoval not very fast. The Giants' 2 possible pinch runners who are faster have both been in the game already. On a pop-up, shallow right field. Ludwick takes it, 2 down. And that leaves it to Aaron Rowan. Rowan 3 for 8 in his career against Heath Bell and Torrealba out to talk to Bell. Rowan 1 for 3 tonight. The Giants, who had 2 first-inning runs, only to see the Padres tie it in the second. The Giants had 2 men on and nobody out in this last of the second after a single by Rowan. But the whole thing disintegrated. And the Giants have never gotten a runner past first base since. Jonathan Sanchez did not get a bunt down. He forced a run. Aaron Rowan got hung out to dry. Ran into an out. And that fastball to strike from Heath Bell.
Quick challenge on the first pitch, and he goes ahead 0-1.
Two down, 9th inning. And the slider off the outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sergio Romo up in the Giants bullpen just in case. Travis Ishikawa is out in the on-deck circle just in case. And big breaking ball. 1 ball, 2 strike count.
Well, that's the thing about Heath Bell. I mean, he can give you 2 quality breaking balls, a slider and a curveball. This is a 1-1 curveball. And I mean, it is a pearl in a perfect position. Just below the strike zone, out of the way.
Struck him out with a fastball. The ball game is over, and the Padres have done it again. It's been a long time since they last played, nearly 3 months. And the Giants, who have made a transformation from the ball club that the Padres beat in so many tight ball games early on this year, and yet the outcome remains the same. Padres 3, Giants 2. It's the 3rd time that they've beaten the Giants 3-2. So the Padres, with a formula that has made them the winningest team